Meow, business pro. Meow. Go national. Go like a pro.
It's time for the big three in today's topics: media versus Obamacare, taxed by the mile, and this week's must-read. So let's bring in my big three panel. Politics editor for Roll Call, Shira Center, MSNBC contributor and former Bush Cheney senior advisor Robert Trainum, and professor of political science at Hiram College, Jason Johnson. Hello to all of you.
Hello there.
Glad you're here for the big three. Jason, we'll start with you because we have seen countless critical headlines concerning Obamacare. And political analyst Zerlina Maxwell frames it this way, quote, "The privilege of analyzing the process from the perspective of someone who is already insured and not in need of coverage allows the core impact of the new program on the health and security of millions of Americans to be missed." Does that argument hold any water there, Jason?
It's completely right. I have thought that much of the complaints about the Obamacare rollout have been absolutely unnecessary and a tempest in a teapot. Boo-hoo. So maybe it takes you a couple of clicks. The same thing can happen on Amazon. The same thing happens on Orbitz. And I think for the core issue here is this better than what most people had before? And it is. We're doing a rollout to provide 47 million people with health care that they didn't have access to before. So complaints about a glitch here and there, I haven't agreed with it. I completely agree with Zerlina.
Okay, Robert, too much emphasis on the website problems without looking at the advantages once we get past this website and all the issues. I mean, is this a disservice to the program?
No, not at all. I mean, a glitch here and there, I beg to differ here. I mean, when you take a look at the average person that goes to the website, myself included, it's about 30 to 45-minute wait. You know, when you put in your information, for some people, it's the wrong information in terms of how much you will pay, in terms of how much the government will provide for you. So it's not just a glitch here and there. This is a major, major problem, especially given the fact that $1 billion of our taxpayers have already been spent on this. And independent consultants out there says it probably will take anywhere between 5 to 10 billion more dollars of our taxpayer dollars. And then thirdly, and certainly not least, the administration promised us that this would be a quote-unquote smooth rollout. So, you know, with all due respect, yes, 47 million people uninsured, that's a big deal. And clearly the administration is working towards covering all of those individuals. But, you know, they also need to manage everyone's expectations as it relates to this.
Shira, awkward here. Who's right, Robert or Jason?
Well, this probably won't surprise you, Alex, but I think there's certainly some truth in what both of them are saying. On the one hand, general people have been very impatient about this website, and this is healthcare, right? I think Jon Stewart pointed out that if people are willing to wait up all night to buy concert tickets, maybe they should be a little bit more patient with something as serious and great as healthcare. On the other hand, I agree with Robert that it's a bad website. It is not well run, it was not tested well, and there are many flaws, and it's going to be very expensive and complicated to fix. And this is something that Obama has made a signature legislative achievement in his first, and perhaps he'll try it in his second term as well. So this is very important, and they've botched it.
Okay. Guys, moving on to our next topic, and that is taxed by the mile. The LA Times is saying that some state lawmakers are considering a plan to install black boxes in every car. So that means every mile you drive would be tracked. Drivers would be charged a tax for every mile of road they drive. The money would then go toward mending the nation's crumbling highway system. Jason, good idea?
This is horrible. I mean, this is some 1984 New World Order nonsense. The idea that I'm going to be tracked in my car, every conspiracy theorist in America is going to be having a field day with this. Look, we've had various pieces of legislation put forward by both Republicans and Democrats on what we need to do to fix the infrastructure in this country. Tracking people's individual movements is a horrible slippery slope, because where does it stop? Does it tell you, well, the kind of gas that you're buying at this particular location isn't healthy? A terrible idea.
Okay, but Robert, in terms of fairness, is it more fair for those who drive more to have to pay more in some sort of a tax?
But Alex, you know, I'm a bit confused here because we already have that system. It's called the gas tax. The more gas that you purchase, the more it goes into the highway trust fund. That's exactly what the tax is with the gas tax. That's number one. Number two, when you go on the New Jersey Turnpike or any other turnpike, the further that you go on that turnpike, the more you pay. So I'm a bit confused here. That's number two. But number three, our taxpayer dollars already go into other parts of the highway trust fund. So now what we're talking about is that we will be paying almost triple now. So it just simply doesn't make sense from a policy standpoint.
Well, here's what's interesting, Sheriff, because this is bringing together the Tea Party and the ACLU. I mean, they're all together on this. They both want to kill it. So what do you make of the black box plan?
Right. Libertarians hate this because they see it as a massive invasion of privacy, and they have a very good point and a valid concern here. I mean, there's something called an odometer where people can see how many miles you've driven without knowing exactly where you are on a GPS system. And besides that, countries around the world that are much more congested than Los Angeles, believe it or not, have ways of dealing with this. And, you know, things like taxes to go into the city, a parking tax, parking permits. There were hundreds of other ways you can solve this from a policy perspective than putting a GPS and having government watch every move.
Yeah, but LA traffic, oh wow, that's a whole nother subject.
It is bad.
All right, guys, Halloween costumes and overcoming a real pain in the neck. The must-reads are next.